Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is going well. Let me know what's going on in the comments. And we're going to get stuck into this massive clear out. And it feels like we've had 10 years of requiring a massive clear out. And even when you buy players, we still require a massive clear out. And there's probably some elements to truth to it. And there's probably some elements of overreaction in there as well. But I'm going to get into it, and I want to know what you guys want to think about it as well. So I find this quite funny, actually. Well, not funny, haha, but interesting, maybe I would call it. I saw someone saying, wouldn't give Ten Hag another penny. And Ten Hag spent some money, right? Yes. In fact, he's been in charge while we've spent money. However, has he spent the money? Or has the club spent the money? That what blame and responsibility do you attribute to each of our managers when we know the likes of Ollie pushed for the likes of Casado and Haaland when they would have been single-figure millions and didn't get them? You know, when you've had the world and his dog tell you, and Jim Ratcliffe himself telling you that Manchester United's structure, our recruitment, all of that sort of stuff doesn't work, isn't fit for purpose. At what point do we say these managers haven't been backed? And people will go, look how much money they spent. Of course they were backed. The money hasn't been spent with any level of thought behind it. And I saw a comment yesterday, which is like, how many times do United sign these players just as they're about to over-ripen? You know, from Casemiro to Varane to Ronaldo to Cavani to Falcao to Ibrahimovic to just about everybody you can think of, really. How many times have we sold Casemiro, obviously? Like, how many times have we signed that player? Now, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with signing players in that category. But your team has to be carried by your 25 and 26 and 27-year-olds. So the players that I would look to depend on at United right now should be Marcus Rashford. I don't think he's having a season that you can depend on. It should be Martinez. To a greater or lesser extent, should be Shaw, should be Onana. Those are the players that are in the sort of peak kind of years. The ones where you go, I know what I get out of those. These should be 8 out of 10 performances every single week. That is the player's prime. Once they start getting over 30, you're going to see a drop-off in their ability to be able to put in sustained, consistent performances week after week after week after week. There's going to be some tapering. And when you go to the younger ones, your under-22s, there's going to be a level of erraticness to the performance level. Sometimes 10 out of 10, sometimes 3 out of 10, sometimes decision-making's all over the place, sometimes a match winner. You need the players in that bulk, middle sort of dependable kind of age. United don't have that at the moment. And we've signed so many of those about to over-ripen players, usually on a lot of money, usually at the tail end of their career. And I think if you had a team that you can depend on, 7, 8 of those players in the 26 to 29 kind of age that were performing, bringing in a Casemiro could really just help galvanise. I think United have done this to a great success time and time again. Even on loan, Henrik Larsson, just what we needed to help see us over the line. When you say Robbie Van Persie, was he 28, 29 at the time? Maybe he was probably pre-prime, but he was an injury-prone player. We got 38 Premier League games out of him that year, which I think only happened one more time in his career before or after. Sometimes it's about, can you have the right profile of player, and that means age profile, wage profile, all of that sort of stuff, doing the right sort of thing. And United, for the last 10 years, seemingly haven't had that. You go all the way back to when Fergie left. Fergie made a big point of trying to say the average age of the squad when he left was a good age range. But a lot of the players that were doing the heavy lifting, bringing the age down, weren't the ones who were starting week in, week out. your Cleverleys, your Nick Powells, your Angelo Enrique, if he was a Fergie signing. I think he might have been after him, actually. Your Wilf Zahas. Like, these were players that weren't ready or ever capable of taking over Vidic and Evra or Carrick or Rooney. Those players, all in or approaching their 30s, were who was driving Manchester United forward at the time. That was who was like the bulk of why we won the league. You had David De Gea. He was nice and young and playing first-team football. But they weren't enough. And the age profile has been wrong. When you look at the 2008 side, the players in the prime, Evra, Vidic, Rio, Wes Brown, the whole back four. Van der Sar's in his deep 30s, but still playing at a world-class level. You have a midfield of Scholes, who's older, looked after a little bit by two younger pups in midfield. Carrick, Owen Hargreaves, there's your legs. He can be the mind in there that's coming in and doing whatever, but you've also got others like Ji-Sung Park that can come in and put a work rate in. Up front, Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, prime. What we had there was a perfect age profile of a team. And then if you rock it back to 99, weirdly similar. You have a goalkeeper that's old, but still performing at a world-class level. And then in the back four, you've got Jaap Stam, I think he was 24, something like that at the time. Gary Neville, Ronnie Johnson. He might have been in the right sort of age profile, about 25, 26, I think. Dennis Irwin, who I think at the time was 30. Midfielder, Keane and Scholes. I think Roy Keane at the time would have been 27, maybe. David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, York and Cole. Just like a perfect age profile. And then who did you have coming in and helping out? You had like Terry Sheringham in his deep 30s. Brilliant. Just like, coming in and giving experience and helping out. Whereas we've been over-reliant on these over 30s to carry the team. We're asking Casemiro to perform miracles every single week, and the mileage on him's significant. Or we're asking Garnacho and Højlund. They're not the right age profile. These are players that should be supported by the older heads around them, and they're not being that. Bruno should be one. Perfect age profile. Don't think you can rely on him at the moment. Anyway, so what's being said? So, Talksport, Jim Ratcliffe is planning a big clear-out to trim United's wage bill with Casemiro and Varane, likely big-name departures. And they've also mentioned Martial, Van der Beek and Sancho are names expected to be permanently cut from the squad. Well, Tony Martial's contract expires in the summer. I genuinely would be shocked if he gets offered a new deal. So, yeah, I would think he's going to be off. Sancho, I've no idea what's going to happen with Sancho. After the way it started when he returned to Dortmund, I thought maybe you get a bit of cash for him. The way it is now going at Dortmund, I have no idea where Jadon Sancho will be next year. Joe, if I had to guess, I think it'll be at United. I think it'll be because we failed to send him anywhere. And Donny van der Beek, honestly, would anyone even notice if he didn't turn up? What has he done with his career the last 5 years? It's been an absolute waste. Then there was some talk of Antony. Now, it did come from Samuel Luckhurst, so, make your own conclusion on whether that's got any legitimacy to it or whatever. But he says United are reportedly willing to offers, or expected to entertain was the word he used, offers for Antony this summer. Comes after he played only a minute against Fulham on his 24th birthday. See, he's someone that should be entering the sort of prime where you just know this is an experienced professional on a shitload of money. We should just be able to get like a guaranteed level of performance out of him, but it's not necessarily the case. Next up, we've got Erik Ramsay has left. Official. He is now the new Minnesota United head coach, which means I better polish up my CV and get it sent in there if I'm going to be the new set plays coach. I'm fucking joking. But I'm not if they want me. And then apparently INEOS want attacking dynamic football. Ten Hag on the project, he said the club dictates the style, so you have to set an agreement about that. That is given by the leaders of the club. INEOS want to play proactive, dynamic, attacking football, which during my time here, we always try to do. Let's see what you fellas are saying in the old comments. Witterbird says, with FFP still being an issue, it was reported by The Athletic it would be cost us 15 million compensation plus 9 million in wages. if they pay the Ashworth money. That is a player. It's certainly an up-and-coming player, isn't it? I don't know if it's a first-choice player, but it absolutely was. Daniel Riley says, good, he was bloody useless. Raman says, our squad is perfect for Jose Ball, to be honest. But is it? But then you do need another clear out again, don't you? Sergi says, think Ten Hag can only succeed with a clear out, get the vision from Ratcliffe, Ashworth, head of recruitment, and Salah doesn't suit. This is the thing. The money spent has been significant at United, but the desire to see like mass change all at once, or even admit to mistakes, hasn't been there. When Pep joined City, he signed Claudio Bravo. After a year, he went, he's not doing it, get me a new keeper. And they got him a new keeper. Within the space of 12 months, he went through 3 goalkeepers, all first choice. Now, Manchester United have made mistakes in the transfer market, but when United make a mistake in the transfer market, we go, well, unlucky. Deal with it. And that's it. United just have to fucking deal with it. Now, we spent loads of money on him. Don't worry about it. People forget the fucking Nolitos and the Claudio Bravos and some of the fucking disasters that Pep's had at Manchester City, and people forget some of the fucking absolute disasters that Klopp's had, because he's been there and allowed to make mistakes and allowed to change the players that he signed and bring in fresh players. If they were the all-time fucking great coaches, which is what they get called, they improve every player. Well, it's not true, for starters. Then why did they need the transfer market at all? Why couldn't he have made Joe Hart this goalkeeper? Because you can't. You have to go to the transfer market. It's just fucking ridiculous to think that otherwise. Shane says Nagelsmann would be class and Thomas Frank to the pool. It's going to be interesting watching how all of this plays out in the summer with these manager changes. Stephen Brown says, only players I don't want to see go are Mainu, Martinez, Højlund, and Garnacho. I can see a solid reason why everyone else should be sold. I put Onana in there as well. I think Onana's been really fucking underestimated this season with the amount of shots United have had to face. Brian says, still be interested to see how many of the signings made in the last 10 years have been first choice signings. Ten Hag needs a proper structure. Facts. Ross says, Calvin Phillips been a disaster at City, but don't expect them to go and get another midfielder in summer. Is that because they've already signed their replacement midfielder for Calvin Phillips? James says 20 million to not waste $1 billion. No contest, just pay it. Ashworth's biggest problem is the United tax, as always. But does the United tax genuinely exist, or does it exist because we don't have negotiators that are able to tell someone to shut the fuck up? You know, if United had a better network of agents, so look how many players United have got, ex-players, ex-coaches, ex-staff members at the club. It's a favour economy. Kieran McKenna, would you like Brandon Williams on loan for the whole season? I really would, actually. Yeah, that would do me nice. Okay, cool. Well, can you go and throw a bid in for this player that we've been looking at and find out how much he would be if he was going to Ipswich? Yeah, so this player, how much is he? 8 mil. They want 8 mil for him. All right, cool. Thank you. Michael Carrick, can you go and ring them up and ask if Middlesbrough was to sign this player, how much they would want for him? Yep, no problem. Let me go and do that. And we'll send you... Do you want Ahmad on loan? We'll send you Ahmad on loan. How's that sound for you? Yep, all right, sweet. No problem. Thank you. Yeah, they said 9.5 mil if it was Middlesbrough. All right, okay, so it's a bit more if it's Middlesbrough. All right, okay. Then you go into your negotiation and you say, right, okay, so we're interested in signing this player. And they go, oh, it's 30 mil if it's United. Having someone with the bollocks to go, all right, cool, well, I know that you told Ipswich it was 8 and Middlesbrough it was 9.5, so, okay, we'll throw a little bit extra on. Call it 10 if it's United, and maybe we'll give you +5 in add-ons if he plays X number of games. It's having someone who's got the bollocks to not just sit there and say that, but also go, and do you know what? If you don't want to play ball, I'm not having my fucking pants down, and we'll walk away. That's what United need to do, because United never do anything like that. United just fucking bend over and fucking take whatever gets offered to us. We went to Leicester and we said, Aaron Maguire, 45 mil, I think was our opening fucking bid. And they went, 45 mil, go fuck yourself, we want 80. And then we just fucking and ahed. And like, what level of negotiating genius do you need to be to just walk back with a fucking check for 80 million at the end of the fucking window? It's absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. Like, even you take it all the way back to David Moyes. We were told, I think, 28 fucking million for Baines and Fellaini. Opening day of the window. And then we fucked about to sign Fellaini at midnight on deadline day for how much we could have got both of them for. Like, how bad at your job would you have to be to waste the amount of money that whoever signs the fucking checks at United? Absolutely ludicrous. And not only that, a lot of people speculated on it being, can't remember who they said it was actually, they were wrong. About, I told a little story about, I know Hakimi's agent, and Hakimi was shown around Spurs by Poch, new stadium, sat him down, had a meal, overlooking the fucking pitch. Poch, who is a charismatic guy, might not be the greatest manager the world's ever seen, but he is a charismatic guy. And he sat there, told him how he would see him playing in his fucking team and give him the fucking whole spiel. And then he went over and met United. No manager. Matt Judge is there. And Matt Judge asked him how many times he played for his country and what his name was. You talk about making players feel fucking loved and wanted and part of the fucking project and excited. And then you roll out a fucking money man who's clearly not even a fucking good money man because he has been part of the organisation that has wasted so much fucking money. How do you end up paying 50 million for Wan-Bissaka? He was a £20 million player, 25 with the English tax. He was never, because City had paid 50 million for a fullback, you now thought the bar for any fullback was 50 million. Absolutely ludicrous. Ludicrous. Virgil says, people criticise Ten Hag for not implementing a club-wide style of play after 2 years. He's pretty mad. Now, Nagelsmann is the one everyone wants with less positives than Ten Hag had when we got him. Look, some of the criticisms of Ten Hag are fair. The things I was trying to talk about in my review after the game, Monday Night Football did a fantastic job of showing them because they can use the highlights and I can't. But that was the sort of thing I was trying to say. United are so fucking wide open when we're defending on the transition. It's insane to me. It's genuinely insane to me how United are set up. Like, load of you lot fucking moan in the comments when I referenced the fact that I coach a fucking amateur football team. But sometimes it's fucking relevant because if my lads did the sort of shit I see United doing, I'd be going fucking turbo at them. Me and Ronaldo was talking about this last night. I literally stand on the sideline and keep fucking pulling my midfield two back. We play a 4-2-3-1. It's exactly the same as United. The midfield can't get too far away. You're seeing 25, 30 metres of fucking space. That is asking to be attacked. Asking to be attacked. And we don't have the fucking impetus to go and win the ball as high up as a team that can win the ball high up there and keep it there. We just don't have that. So Ten Hag has to look at the results of how we are being coached and adapt. And I think he is adapting a little bit at times, but it's still just areas of what we're doing is massively fucking incorrect. Fergus says, also imagine if Ten Hag had the same first season as United as Ange, he'd be crucified. Yeah, Ange is the great manager that United should go for, apparently. Yeah. Lambert says, let's go Steve. Gonna need wholesale changes this summer. Brailsford will clear house. I'm excited to see them all get going, but it ain't gonna be, right, they all started work, so we should win it on Saturday. It's gonna take a long time for that sort of stuff to filter through. I believe that it will filter through. Because we've been relatively successful. I think Liverpool have won more trophy than us in the last fucking 9 years or whatever it is. Okay, they won a Premier League and a Champions League in that, and picked up a load of the less important trophies like the only ones that we've won. But ultimately, this is our worst period in 30 years, and we're still picking up trophies and we're still finishing in Champions League places. Imagine how good we could be if we actually knew what we were doing. We've been accidentally semi-successful. You give us the correct structure, the appeal to come to United will still always be there, but could get very strong as people smell an exciting project going on. David says, Antony Maguire had a first couple of seasons until we changed our style attack. Matthew says, Need to clean up all these players. Toxic crap, sell them 11 players in the summer. Knight says, did I see Ajax versus Madrid? Notice where Casemiro was standing for Madrid, 15 yards further forward at United. Yeah. So at Madrid, he was the bottom of a triangle. And he had Toni Kroos and Modric. Like, Toni Kroos would give you a bit of legs. Modric wasn't legs. Modric was magic, right? And that's what his role in that team was. Casemiro, I don't know if I'd call him the true out-and-out six, but he was the more defensive of that three, right? And it was probably more of a true three-man midfield than the 2-1 that we play. But even so, where he plays now is just night and day different. Witterbird says, why is it only United that don't have to get to have the excuse about the squad being threadbare with injuries? Like, the way United are treated in the media, honestly, how Van Dijk hasn't been ridiculed for this whole, they said I was finished. Oh, for just collecting the trophy Maguire won last year, mate. Right, yeah, you're right. Why are you acting like it's the fucking Champions League? United hadn't won something in 6 years. Quite rightly, United were happy at winning that. Especially it's the first season of our new manager. It looks like United are on the road to doing some stuff. I went and watched back all of my reactions to United winning it last year because I wanted to know. I felt like I knew what my reaction to it was. And my review, I'm literally sitting there saying, do you know what? This is nice and we will celebrate winning a trophy because that's what you're supposed to do. But he will be judged on winning the Premier League and the Champions League. And I stand by every single word of that. In 12 months, that's not aged in the slightest. That is the fucking right answer. So why is it now Jurgen Klopp is getting absolutely fucking tugged off for winning a trophy that realistically doesn't fucking matter? Fergal says, Steve, 4 years of Ten Hag, we'd cover those gaps. But when Leisha has to play, he's out. We have to play Maguire, who cannot do it. When he has cover, we're gold. We're gold? Don't know what that means. TCG Hub says, the best thing United could do is put an advert in the Loot, players free to a good home. Is the Loot still going? Matt says, would a new manager fix things with this squad? I don't see how. And that's the other thing, yeah. Like, I love how out of context people have taken mine and Rio's conversation yesterday about Arteta. The point, I think, was United have still got pull. No one's sitting there seriously thinking that Arteta is an option for United. At least I fucking don't think so, anyway. But the response to that, and the response to all the fucking Scousers who are upset because they didn't play kids, but the narrative was that they played kids, so as soon as anyone points out that they weren't playing kids, they absolutely throw their toys out the pram. Get a fucking grip, honestly. Honestly. Keller's 25. He's not a kid. Harvey Elliott's played 100 games. Let's not act like you played some fucking rookie. And Bradley, yeah, okay, fair play. And then you put a load of them on in injury time. And obviously Van Dijk as well. But for the fucking goal, Van Dijk was getting cooked. It was only because Keller had some good saves and fucking Conor Gallagher can't finish that you didn't get blasted out in that fucking game earlier anyway. Madness. David O'Connor says, wow, the Loot, that's a throwback to my days as a paper boy. Notch says, I felt the same. League Cup was fantastic, but it was a stepping stone and we were meant to push on. Exactly that. Keith Kelly says, I think Ten Hag's a good manager, but he's been let down by a lack of structure at the club. Structure at Ajax compared to United is a joke. I think he was the right manager at the wrong time. You could argue about that. For every single one of the managers. Skull Snack says, how are we even talking about changing the manager? The problem is that the most dangerous time for a new manager is when a new owner comes. And okay, we don't have a new owner, but we do have a new person responsible for our footballing operations, which is a bit of a complicated way of saying we've got a new owner, really. And I think he is in danger. I think you would be mental to sit here and go, nah, he's absolutely not going to be in any danger whatsoever. He will 1,000% be Manchester United manager at the start of next season, because I wouldn't be confident saying that. I don't know. I have no idea. Rocky says, they talk like the kids started the match. Yeah, they had 3 players. Ben Kelly says, surely Ten Hag would get the chance to work with actual football heads being in the back room now. I would hope so. Me and Rio off camera yesterday, I meant to bring it up on the podcast and get distracted with the fucking carnage that's going on in there. But I said, do you think there's a chance that he's being able to explain what's going on? You know, is the likes of Brailsford, Ashworth, you know, Wilcox, as soon as all these guys land, Barada even, Jean-Claude Blanc, are they all getting in a room and are they all going, all right, that Fulham game, and it ain't the only one because it goes all the way back to the start of the season, that Fulham game in particular, just drag out the Monday Night Football analysis and just say, right, go direct to the club analysis and just say, give me these clips. And then get the gaffer in and just say, right, Erik, is this what you want? Is this what you're aiming for? And he might go, yeah. And in which case you go, right, what makes you think this is going to work? And if he goes, fucking hell, no. I really don't want to be playing football like this. These gaps, not what I coached. This, not what I coached. No, these are the lads out of position. Here's where they should be. You go, all right, okay, so it's the lad's not doing a job. Basically, I would get him to explain what's going on because he might say, here's what's trying to happen. And then it's on them as football people to say, I think this guy can take us forward, or I don't think this guy can take us forward. But that's their decision to make. I just hope that they're getting the chance to have an explanation, because I think you do yourself a massive disservice if you just give him a bullet. You know, if he can sit there and he say, look, I'm trying to play this way and I can't play it because X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that I would buy every single excuse he comes out with or reason that he comes out with for how these things have happened. But it'd be good to have him go, yeah, this ain't good enough. And you know, and I know why, and we can fix that. Or actually, when I have this player and this player, you won't see that, and then this will happen. You know, if you can sit down with him and say, right, Erik, what does the team look like in 24 months? What players are we trying to replace? How do we can you take this group to win the Premier League? What changes in and out needs to happen for that to happen? And then listen to him. And if you agree with him, implement it. If you don't, fuck him off and get someone in that can. But make decisions with information. That's the sort of thing I'm trying to say. Mohammed says, why has Arsenal waited on Arteta for 3 years, getting 8th, and 5th, and we're looking to axe Ten Hag when he's literally faced the worst circumstances possible? Because United are a fucking massive club. That's the top and bottom of it. United are a massive fucking club, and it matters. IR says, at no point in the game was Liverpool average age on the pitch younger than Chelsea. At the start and at the final whistle, Chelsea had the younger team by a while as well. It's so funny, the amount of scousers that was in my mentions going, that's because we had two players that were 30 and this is how averages work. They still have a lower fucking average, mate. Insane. I've never seen a club more wanked off in my life than Liverpool. It's a fucking piss take. Anyways, I'm wrapping up here. As always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you want to go and fucking get outside for a little bit, I've just dropped the top 5 hiking videos that I like to go on. And it's had a really good response. So thanks to everyone who's gone and watched that and subscribed over on Howson IRL. You'll find the link for that in the description. Otherwise, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also